But do Sultan Speaks on the air today, right?
What?
Sultan Speaks. I mean, living out loud on the air.
Hey, you're listening to the Carl Jackson Show. The number to call in, 407-774-8255. If you want to get a hold of us on Facebook, facebook.com/Carl Jackson Radio. You can email us at carljacksonradio@gmail.com. What else am I looking for? Twitter. Oh, and shout out to the SoundCloud people that are listening. Thank you so much for listening on SoundCloud. And also Twitter at Carl Jackson Show. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys following us. I have a friend, Phyllis Reinhardt, that offers an alternative to Common Core and those that need help in teaching their kids phonetic reading. I forget her website. Hopefully, maybe she'll call in if she's listening so we can get that information. But Common Core, okay. During the break, guys, I was just saying, I like to get things rowdy during the break. I know other hosts say don't talk and just leave it off air, but I talk, I don't know. I talk incessantly when the mic is off. I don't know if that's the best way to go about it or not. But anyway, my juices are always flowing. Here's what I said. Common Core is the new Negro Vote Plan B. For those of you that are listening, for those of you that know me, just a couple of weeks ago I talked about JAB time, an acronym: Judges, Abortion, Fairness Doctrine, Taxation, Illegal Immigration Reform, Military, Education, or Economics. I think you can interchange that last E. Some of the big things that'll hit, some of the those are things that I look for personally in a candidate. I want to make sure they stand up for those things or are informed on those things. Healthcare, illegal immigration reform, and education are what I consider the big three. I've heard Ann Coulter talk about this. In destroying America, the quickest ways to destroy America, the concept, the ideal of America would be through the healthcare legislation, illegal immigration reform, because you get everyone emotionally involved in saying, oh, we're all immigrants, not realizing that nowhere else in the world does any country besides the United States of America has the type of lax immigration policies. We have some of the worst around the entire world. It's absolutely amazing. Yet we got a bunch of liberals saying we're racist for doing what every other country in the world does. In education, here comes Common Core. I believe Common Core is the new Negro Vote Plan B. I was telling Steve Bushaw, Mickey, and Sultan here. Here's the bottom line. You guys have heard me talk about the new Negro Vote. So here's the deal. Black babies are being aborted like nobody's business. Okay, so the black race is dying off. I know this sounds crazy to some of you that may be listening for the first time. This was an evil, sinister plan. It's been effective. It's been working. The black race is being killed off while we have blacks voting Democrat. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So blacks are still voting Democrat. Abortions, Sultan posted this on our Facebook page, 14,500,000 babies aborted. So what has to happen? Someone's got to replace that black race. The black race is a constant, it's just a go-to. It's a go-to Democrat vote. Who replaces that? Illegal immigrants. Okay, what if we get a conservative president? What if we get a conservative legislature? What happens then? Well, Richard Lamb, or Dick Lamb, of former Colorado governor, told us what you have to do is you have to make sure that people, his step 3 in his plan, in the Democrat plan, is make sure people stay uneducated. And the fastest growing populations are people coming into America. That's exactly what they want to do. Hence, Common Core. So I went on to stopcommoncore.com, Steve, and I know just a couple of weeks ago you were at this same event that we both attended. I'm just going to go over some of these things, and I want everyone's response, and I want your response, Steve, from a legal perspective, and if there's something you'd like to add to it, please do so. But some of the opponents of Common Core have said that this was actually proponents, have said Common Core was a state-led initiative. Is this true?
Well, there may have been elements of it that were going to be state-led initially, but it has become just big government and federally run at this point. It's interesting what you just said about, keeping people uneducated, because the sinister element of Common Core is keeping people uneducated by controlling education. Keep them uneducated by educating with precisely what you want. Common Core is basically Obamacare for education. If you like Obamacare, you're going to love Common Core because it's the same thing. It's big government taking control of education. And so, in terms of it, a lot of what many of the proponents of Common Core try to say now is, oh, it's not that bad, oh, it's really not a big government thing, we're going to give state control. What they're trying to do is rip away control, take away control and power from local school districts, from local school boards, and they want to replace it with the federal government having oversight of everything. Look, we've already seen how America has plummeted, despite the fact that the Department of Education, the federal government, keeps throwing more and more money, billions of dollars at education every year. More than $300,000 is spent per classroom at this point. You know what this has got us in terms of results? Let me read you a few results in terms of what big government oversight of education has gotten us. And this is from the Program for International Student Assessment. Right now, the United States is 17th worldwide in reading. 17th worldwide in reading. The USA is 21st worldwide in science. And the USA is 26th overall in math. Let's all say it together. We're number 26. We're number 26.
Yay! Yay!
That's what big government oversight of education and throwing more money at the problem has gotten us today in the United States of America, 26th worldwide in math. And they want to throw more money and exert more control over it. It's crazy. It's nuts. So don't believe them when they try to tamp down and say, oh, yeah, but it's really going to be state-run. Nuh-uh. This is the federal government that are trying to control education.
Mickey, you were saying earlier during the break, you said something about process, that this is dictating process or something to that effect. What do you mean by that?
I had read an article that someone had mentioned, since everything in the education for me is, it's like it says in the word, if you train your child
In the way that he should go.
Right.
when he gets old, that's
Yeah.
the path he's going to take
Sure.
to that effect. And that's what they do into the school. For you to come to go right ahead and control the masses in the near future for whatever agenda you have to do it now. And Common Core, that's what it is. And by stimulating like Common Core in the child is by showing them this is not the right answer, but it would stimulate a good answer. If you look at other countries, they actually had started, I think it was in Iceland, not in Iceland, it skips my mind right now, but in Europe, that they started like a Common Core, and all of a sudden the parents rise up and go like, hey, if it's going to be that way, we're going to take our kids home. All of a sudden, somebody came to power, and everything changed completely. United States is based on a Christian value and a Christian base, and we have put that away. We have taken God out of our schools, and now everything is switching around, and nobody's doing anything about it.
And something to think about too is that when you deal with even the term Common Core,
Yeah.
a core is foundational. And when you look at the direction that our country is going in with the government, another example, you mentioned that it's not state-run, it's federal government-run. Even when it comes to homosexual legislation for the homosexual marriage thing, states are being overrun by the government. A state will have it in their constitution that homosexual marriage is not legal, and the government will come in and say, we're going to recognize it anyway. And the same thing with education. We start talking about Common Core. What is the Common Core in the year 2014? For America, it's really not Christian values. It's not that. I mean, we have a president who's pushing, homosexual marriage, who's pushing abortion, who's pushing all these things that are not, the Common Core is not good. And you can believe that not only with the academics as far as math and things, but the social issues in Common Core, which we haven't really addressed or seen much on, that's going to be a disaster for the children who are exposed to it.
Well, here's the deal, and we don't have much time before the break, but a lot of these states took on Common Core because they were going to get kicked out of the not the No Child Left Behind, but Race to the Top. So the Governors Association stepped in. This was not a state-led initiative, as Stephen Gushov said. I mean, maybe some states, but practically these people in the administration started advancing this idea of Common Core. Governors finally took it on because they were threatened. Listen. Your funding is going to be taken. Here's the deal. Sultan mentioned, he said the word common. I thought he was going somewhere else with that. This is not a common country. This is an exceptional nation. And then as far as abolishing states' rights, it'll destroy states' rights. Now, some of you may think it's good because you don't know the difference otherwise, but states' rights, yeah, it helped slavery, states' rights also helped end slavery. That's important for you to know. Join us on the other side of the break and we'll take your calls.